Hey, I'm Dr. Blake. This is Change Your Buds with the Cooking Doc. Today we're going to be talking about my favorite new kitchen tool, the Instant Pot. I'm going to show you the top 5 things of why it makes a great addition to your kitchen and can really ramp up your healthy cooking game. And then I'm going to walk through 5 quick Instant Pot recipes, low sodium, delicious. Stay tuned. Before we get started, I want to tell you 2 things. First, don't forget to subscribe to my channel and hit that bell so you never miss a new recipe or a new health tip. And number 2, I've written a book. The Cooking Doc's Kidney Healthy Cooking, a modern 10-step guide to preventing and managing kidney disease. I'm a kidney doctor. I put all of my knowledge into this book, plus 50 recipes, and they are delicious. You can get this book on my website, thecookingdoc.co, or on Amazon. So here are the top 5 things about the Instant Pot that I have learned after cooking with it for about 2 years. First, the Instant Pot is amazing for dried beans. Whenever I used to buy dried beans, I'd get all excited. Ooh, dried beans. That's the way to have a sustainable dinner. You know, you stock your cabinet with dried beans. They're always there when you need them. And then guess what would happen? They would sit there on my cabinet for years, and I would never use them because I never thought about soaking them or preparing them in time, and then dinner would come. I'd be stuck with a cabinet full of dried beans that I couldn't prepare in time for my dinner. I could never plan ahead. With the Instant Pot, the game has changed. Number 2, frozen chicken. Okay, so as somebody who loves to cook, I've always been taught that frozen chicken is a no-no to cook. You need to have the chicken defrosted all the way. Otherwise, when you go to cook frozen chicken, you can get some parts that are done and some parts that are not done. And when you get raw chicken, you can get salmonella. And as a doctor, I didn't want anybody in my family to get salmonella. So I was very hesitant to try this, but I've now found that I can use frozen chicken breasts or even a frozen whole chicken cooked in the Instant Pot. I make sure that all parts of that chicken are done before I take it out and eat it. But the ability to take a frozen chicken and cook it without defrosting it will save me so much time. And the same story as the dried beans, it can be ready in no time, even if you've forgotten to prepare. Number 3, chicken soup. So as a good Jewish boy, I had lots of delicious chicken soup growing up made by my grandmother, Julie. Now my grandma Julie would sit by the stove all day cooking her chicken soup, and it was absolutely amazing. In 2020, I don't have time for that, and neither do most people. But for a weeknight dinner, the ability to put together a quick chicken soup with fresh stock using fresh chicken is absolutely amazing. I'm going to show you one of those recipes in just a couple minutes. Number 4, chili. The keys to creating a delicious dish is to let the flavors simmer and develop over the course of many hours. With the Instant Pot, you can create some of those same flavors in a condensed time period. Now, I'm not going to throw out my Le Creuset Dutch oven because that is my all-time favorite pot. Number 5. Okay, this one is a little bit ridiculous, but you can make anything in the Instant Pot, really, that you can make on the stove. And it really won't save you any time, but it is a little bit exciting to say that you've made it in the Instant Pot instead of on the stove. Now I'm going to walk you through 5 recipes that you can find on my website. These are quick recipes, but I'm going to extend them out a little bit and give you some tips and tricks for cooking in your Instant Pot. Let's first look at this Instant Pot recipe with Italian chicken and brown rice. So we are using both chicken thighs and chicken breasts here, and you see I'm using some Italian seasoning on top of them, or herbes de Provence, to give it a little bit of flavor beforehand. We are going to brown the chicken first, and this is an optional step, but it gives a deeper flavor because you're getting some of that caramelization on the chicken skin in there. First we'll start with the thighs and then we'll add the breasts. Then we are going to put in our aromatics, and we're going to go kind of easy on this one. We're not going to chop things, so you can just put a couple full whole carrots or whatever veggies you have at home. And then our secret ingredient in this one is artichoke hearts. These artichoke hearts will give you a little bit of salt without making the meal too salty, and really kind of an umami flavor that permeates the whole dish. Then we're going to add a little bit of liquid, because anything that you're cooking in the Instant Pot needs a little bit of liquid, or else it'll stick to the bottom and you'll get a burn sign, and then you'll have to start from scratch. So a little bit of liquid is important. Then we're going to cook it for about 20 minutes. I'm going to serve this over farro, but you can use any kind of whole grains, brown rice, and if you wanted to make this a one-pot meal, you could always just throw in potatoes into the Instant Pot as it's cooking, some chopped potatoes, and you'd have a delicious final product. Okay, next, let's go vegetarian. This is my Instant Pot black bean soup, and this recipe is to die for, and it's very easy to make. So you see these nice dainty hands are not my hands. This is somebody else's hands that did the video for me. So we're going to start with a little bit of olive oil in the Instant Pot, and then we are going to develop our flavor by sauteing onions and celery. You could even add carrot if you wanted to, and then a little bit of garlic. This creates the base of our flavor and is important for any dish. Now this will add a couple minutes to your cooking time, and you can skip it at home if you want to, but it really does make the final dish even better. Now the secret spicy ingredient to this black bean soup is this chipotle chili peppers in adobo. You can get nice little cans of them. They do have some salt in them. That's why we're not going to add a lot of extra salt to this dish in general. But these create kind of a smoky, spicy flavor. I'm going to add some spices on top of that. Our little vegetable broth. Give it a stir. A little bit of extra water. A bay leaf. What kind of super stew is worth their salt if you don't add a bay leaf? Does anybody really know what a bay leaf does? I don't know, but I always add one. Okay, and then we add our dried black beans and put the cover on and let it ride. Now you can see how soft those dried black beans can get in no time in your Instant Pot. We're going to use a little immersion blender to create a creamy soup, and then you top it with some delicious green stuff like cilantro, avocado, maybe just a little bit of cheese or sour cream. Next, let me walk you through this from scratch Instant Pot chicken soup using a whole chicken, and that chicken is going to break down and create homemade chicken broth for your soup. So we're going to start with a fresh whole chicken and the onion and carrots and celery or mirepoix that will create a lot of delicious flavor. And in this special dish, I'm going to add mushrooms. Mushrooms are a great trick to add flavor and umami to a dish without adding a lot of salt. So by adding these sliced mushrooms to our broth as the chicken broth cooks, we will get so much more flavor. You could also use dried mushrooms like porcini mushrooms in this as well. There's our bay leaf. Close it up and cook it. And so this is where you want to take a thermometer and make sure your chicken is done all the way through. We're going to remove the bay leaves. We're going to remove the chicken from the Instant Pot and then remove the breast and the meat from the chicken bones, cut it up, and put it back into the soup. Now, if you have extra chicken breast, then you can save it in the refrigerator for a dish for later in the week. Next, let's talk about a different type of chicken soup. Okay, suppose you don't want to deal with the chicken carcass. You can make a delicious chicken soup by using chicken breast, some chicken noodles, and some store-bought low sodium or no sodium chicken broth. So we're going to start with our mirepoix here. This is our onions and celery. You can also add carrots. Again, the sauteing part is optional, but it gives a little more flavor to your final dish. We're gonna stir that until those onions are translucent. Now we're gonna make this chicken soup chunky. So we have some big chunky carrots we're gonna put in there. And we have our low sodium store-bought chicken broth. Or if you have homemade chicken broth, that's even better, but we're trying to make this easy. Now, we're gonna add spices, and we have a little special spice. We're gonna add some ground ginger in here. I love a little bit of ginger in the chicken soup. Then we're gonna add our chicken breast and some sliced lemons. Just like the ginger, the lemons bring a healing quality to this soup. I was inspired by the traditional Greek lemon chicken soup. One of my favorites. All right, we're gonna let that cook. Go do something, go have fun while that's cooking. And you come back, remove the chicken breast, and now this is great to make a one-pot dish. You put that soup back up to boil, and you add dried noodles in there, and you let those noodles cook. I like to add some white beans to my soup as well to give it a little bit of plant protein. And once that is done, you add the chicken that's been shredded or chopped back to the soup, and you've got a hearty, chunky, delicious chicken soup to rival anything you can get in a can. Lastly, let's talk chili. This is a chicken and 13 bean chili, and if you want to make it vegan, it's very easy to just make it a 13 bean chili. So we're going to start by sauteing the onion and a little bit of green pepper this time because we're making a chili. I always love garlic. 2 cloves of garlic is probably not enough, so feel free to add more. After you saute the vegetables, we're going to add our spices directly into the pot. And what that will do is that will toast the spices a little bit and bring out the flavor and give you an even better finished product. Now, if you really wanted to make this low potassium, you could leave off the tomatoes. The beans are also high potassium, so you'd have to adjust the recipe a little bit if you wanted a low potassium dish. And again, you can make this vegetarian or vegan very easily. Cook the chili for about an hour. And any dried beans, that's about the amount of time it will take to cook them. Again, we're gonna shred the chicken, put it back into the chili, and then top it with your favorite chili toppings, except don't put too much cheese and sour cream, otherwise you'll be unhealthy. Much for watching. We got my 5 favorite things about the Instant Pot and 5 low sodium Instant Pot recipes. Make sure you go to my website, thecookingdoc.co, and check out my book, The Cooking Doc's Kidney Healthy Cooking, a modern 10-step guide to preventing and managing kidney disease, as well as tons of delicious recipes. Subscribe to my channel. We'll see you next time.